Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of Colossians. We're still in Colossians chapter 3. Today we're looking at verse 11. Now, in the first 10 verses of chapter 3, Paul has reminded the Colossian believers that they have been raised with Christ. Therefore, they are to keep their focus on heavenly things, not on the things of this earth. They are to put off the old person they once were because they've died to that old man. And they're to live in this new life, this new creation whom they are in Christ. Now in verse 11, Paul reminds them that part of that means they put off the old barriers that separated them from other people. One of the parts of the old life was barriers between them and other peoples. They are to put those off. That's what Paul says. Colossians chapter 3, verse 11. Now here, that is in Christ, there is no Gentile or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave, or free. But Christ is all and is in all. Paul defines the things that no longer exist in the community of faith, and that is the divisions that used to separate us. So in Christ, there's no more Jew or Gentile, no more circumcised or uncircumcised. Now, these both say the same thing. Circumcised and uncircumcised is another way of saying Jew or Gentile. From the Jewish perspective, that division between the Jewish people and the Gentile people was almost total and complete. Paul says that no longer exists. In Christ, we're all now one. Doesn't matter whether you started as a Jew, part of the covenant family descended from Abraham, or whether you started as Gentile outside that covenant family. Now in Christ, you've been made one. Paul spent an awful lot of time talking about the dividing wall of hostility between Jew and Gentile being broken down. And everyone now through faith in Christ is one in the new covenant community in the church. So he said that old division of Jew and Gentile, circumcised, uncircumcised, that's gone. But also the division between barbarian, Scythian, slave, or free. What's going on there? Well, that's sort of a Greek division. In the Greek mind, and it's a Greek word, you remember, in the Greek mind, if you're Greek, you're civilized. If you're not Greek, you're barbarian. The Greeks tended to look down on all other peoples as less civilized, less sophisticated than they were. Barbarians. Paul says, oh no, in Christ, there's no more division between Greek, quote, sophisticated people and barbarian, uncivilized people. Now in Christ, we're all one. There's no more division between slave and free. Now in the Roman Empire of Paul's day, slavery was unfortunately and tragically a common part of that society. Many people were enslaved. So there's a great division of whether the person is free or whether they're a slave belonging to someone else. Paul says in Christ that distinction is gone. Before Christ, you're not slave, you're not free, you're all equally one before Jesus. And then he says, but you see, Christ is in all and is in all. Now this statement of Paul, breaking down the divisions that used to exist, saying that we're all one in Christ, is a revolutionary statement. Ancient society was defined by the boundaries, by the things that separated peoples. You were defined by what class or what group you belonged to, as opposed to other classes and other groups. Your status in society, your place, almost everything in that culture was defined by what group you belonged to and how that divided you from other groups. Those divisions, those barriers, those boundaries. Paul says in Christ, that's all gone. We're all one in Jesus. All the dividing walls have been broken down. All the barriers have been erased. All the boundaries are gone. Now we are all one in Jesus. We're all saved by faith in Christ. And through that salvation, we all become one part of the one family of God, the one community of faith expressed in the life of the church. So Paul says, put away those old divisions, those old classifications that set you apart from other people. Because now, in Jesus, you're all one. One family, one community, one people of God. So, hence there's no more Gentile or Jew, or circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave, or free. But Christ is all, and Christ is in all. So what makes us one is Jesus. Our faith in Christ, our salvation from Him. That is the unity that divides all, that does away with all the divisions and makes us all one in Him. Okay, join us tomorrow as we continue our 5-minute Bible study in the book of Colossians.